Lee, our first person. There she is. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, hello. Hey, everybody. Welcome to MOUG Live. We're running like a minute early, a couple minutes early, so we'll just hang out, wait for people to join. I see Adam's on. Let's see who else.
Ooh, Greg Welch from Las Vegas. How are you today,
Hey,
Dee?
hey, Lori. I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I'm well.
You look really good.
Oh, thank
Things
you.
things are going well for you. I heard you were out helping the world yesterday.
Was I?
Yeah. You were doing your normal superhero stuff. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Hi, Ravi. Oculus Go.
Yes, Robbie really wants that.
I know. And actually, I have been giving them a lot of feedback about the VR issues that we've been having and the support and trying to get more resources put onto that. So engineering and product are aware of that. And I'm hoping that we are growing at a pretty fast pace. And so I hear that we'll have more resources shortly. And so hopefully we will be able to get some more of that stuff done. But they do know that that's an important area that they do need to put more effort into.
Are more resources coming to documentation too? So
Yeah, actually,
this morning I was asked for, I think, the 20th time where the BLK settings can be changed because there's no documentation on that. So when someone is out in the field for the first time, it is unclear how you can change the HDR modes. I really think that Matterport needs to focus more on describing how people can do things. Like we still don't have the documentation for 360 to 3D conversions.
oh yeah, we do.
We do? Oh, finally. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep. So yeah, okay, yeah. So any of these ideas that you have that you want documentation for, send them to
Well,
me.
everything. I think documentation is part of the product. Because I
Yeah.
know that Damien and his team really want to drive adoption of new things that are developed. And the best way to do that is to fully document it because
Yes.
that is part of the package. And that hasn't been the case, which is really tough. People are asking all the time, like, oh, we have this new feature. Well, how exactly does it work?
Yes, I agree. And we have hired a brand new document tech writer. And his name is Alan, and he's really good. He's got a
Awesome.
lot of work cut out for him, and he's just
Yes.
been cranking away. And so slowly but surely, we're getting there. So if you have any ideas of things that you want to see documented in the Help Center, we are more than open to listen to those. Just send me a DM, let me know. We actually have a spreadsheet where we can put our requests, and he's really good about honoring them.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. So,
Uh-oh,
and
someone broke his first BLK this week.
uh-oh.
Broke as in broke in, or did he break it? Break it, Mark.
That's an expensive thing to break.
And also, my vendor told me that it is practically indestructible, so it must have taken some risky situation. So I hope it's breaking in and not breaking.
If you put it underwater, does it swim?
I don't think so. I have not tried, and I'm not going to.
He killed it. And he stab it and he shoot it. Oh. Um, yeah, so Ravi's asking for more security password protection. We've heard you on that one as well. And hopefully sometime we'll have some more news on that. But for right now, I have nothing for you.
All right. Oh, Jack is going back to his yacht. He scanned a big yacht. We're seeing a lot of scanning of watery situations.
Yes.
So
Yes.
hopefully the Pro 3 will be waterproof.
Waterproof. I've had people contact me saying, I was scanning a boat, I knocked it over, and it's now
Oh my gosh.
floating in the lake.
Oh my gosh, really? Oh my gosh. And so it floats? The Pro 2
Actually, I
floats?
think that time it sank. And
Oh
she was like,
no.
"Yeah, I don't even want to go in and get it."
Oh,
So
I guess it
yeah,
won't work anymore.
you do have to be careful. Matterport cameras, guys, do not swim.
Oh.
And apparently BLK 360s don't bounce on concrete.
Oh no.
Or apparently they do bounce on concrete, but
But then may cease
and then
working,
they
yes.
die.
Oh no, Mark, so Don killed it. He killed his BLK. Oh no.
Well,
Oh, that is very sad.
maybe he needs a GoFundMe page to buy him a new one. I have insurance. Oh Lord. Yeah, we should have a Facebook live session where people just can get on and just tell us all the different ways they've
They destroy
killed their
equipment.
camera. Because there's some interesting stories out there. And you see scans with people who've got the tripod like on a hot tub, and it's on like 3 different sides of the hot tub, and it's just right over the water. I'm like, well, that's living
Gee, over water.
dangerously.
I've seen someone who was literally in the swimming pool for like a beautiful hotel, and you can walk across the pool because the person was in the pool. And so that was terrifying.
That's pretty gutsy. Yeah.
My
Yeah.
camera did tip over in a bathtub, but it was empty.
Yes, it does not bounce on concrete. Oh, that's such a pain. That's such a pity. All right.
So Lori mentioned insurance, and so if you have insurance, you should. I recently discovered this. My home insurance guy said that he would like to take a look at my business insurance policy, and he pointed out that there was limited coverage for when the equipment is off premise, but the equipment is always off premise, right? I'm only using it outside of my house. And so you may want to look over your policy carefully to make sure that it is covered in all the situations that you expect.
So you have 2 sets of insurance, one for your business and one for your home.
Well, for a home, yeah, it is a separate thing. And so I thought that the business insurance would cover the BLK and the Matterport camera wherever I go. But my home insurance guy pointed out that the Hartford has a $15,000 limitation for when it is off premise, and I did not know that. And so, depending on your extent of coverage and the vendor you have, you may want to review it carefully so that you're not surprised and disappointed when the BLK bounces.
Good point. So how did you go about, can you talk about how you went about finding business insurance? And are there any caveats that you have to know about?
You know, I didn't do a lot of shopping. A lot of other folks seem to be using the Hartford, and so that's what I went with just because I was lazy. But now it seems that maybe more research is needed. Because I also have a drone, and with the drone, there's all kinds of different coverage. You can cover the equipment, you can cover liability, and then you can cover something called advertising injury, which, according to the Hartford, is the source of most of their claims. Like you accidentally capture a photo of someone and it was unflattering, and you use it in an ad, and they sue and say, "Oh, I did not agree to this." So this is so
Wow.
with Matterport, I guess it's less of an issue, even though it could happen, right? You do a scan and maybe someone walked into the scan and they did not want to be there. So
Yeah. Hey, if you scan me and you don't make me look 10 pounds lighter, I'm going to sue you.
Oh, unfortunately, Matterport scans tend to make people look heavier. So maybe
Oh,
for the Pro 3, that's a feature that Matterport can
yeah.
consider, the automatic people slimming.
Yeah. When somebody figures out how to do that, they're going to be rich.
Because in panos, you do look bad mostly.
Yeah, but I just look fat everywhere, so whatever.
That's not true. You're fabulous. So speaking of panos, I want to point out something that's interesting. So people are always asking, why do I have to take a 360 snapshot before I can download the 360 photo? So isn't it all somewhere already? And In fact, it is not. There are no 360 panos on Matterport's platform. When you do a 360 view or even a 3D scan, you notice that the Matterport has 9 lenses and it turns 6 times. So it captures 54 little tiles, which Matterport uses to assemble the 3D tours. But in this process, Matterport does not automatically make 360 panos of every scan point, right? Is that correct?
Yes.
And so the pano that you're wanting only comes into existence when you take a 360 snapshot. But that is a little inconvenient, right? I mean, if you want lots of panos and you're shotting all over the place. So are there any plans to allow people to download a set of panos from the scan?
To say, okay, I want to turn every one of my scans into 360 pano and just download them all. No, that's a good feature request though, and I'm happy to log that for you. Yep. I don't know how many times people would use that.
Maybe not often, because I have not done it often. Like at most, I've taken 2 or 3 360 snapshots for even a tour of 500 scan points, because you don't really need it from every corner.
Yeah, I have heard of people uploading their entire space to Google Street View and then downloading the 360 panos from there. And you get way better, you get 8K resolution. So that's another option.
So why is it not possible for 360 snapshots to be the same resolution as what you get from Google Street View?
So that's that it was designed. I know that they were talking about potentially providing higher quality, but we don't have a decision on that yet.
All right, sounds good.
Yep. Hey, Patricia from Louisiana. Hey, David, I saw somebody from Atlanta. Shout out. Oh, Damien's from Atlanta. Hi. All right, so Frank says the most time-consuming part of the current way things are is with regards to making change to your scan after you find an issue once it was processed. For example, trimming or removing scan points that might be causing an issue, only to find out it was another one. It takes hours to reprocess. How come all this time there was no way to remove scan points or trim in the showcase itself? There must be limitation in the showcase or API, or this would have been done since day one. Yeah, so when you process, it's building the 3D data, which is the mesh. And if you do something like remove a scan, you're changing the fundamental mesh in that space. If you add a trim, same thing. You're removing 3D data. And so it has to be reprocessed in order to have the correct 3D data for that space. So unfortunately, there's no way around that right now. You'll find that the things that you can do in Showcase and Workshop aren't things that change the 3D data in the space.
So is there a way in the future to make the processing system more aware of the extent that things have changed when you re-upload? So when I upload a fresh tour, then obviously it needs to be processed from scratch, because the Matterport system has nothing on what I've done. But when I'm re-uploading, is there a way for the system to say, oh, you changed 90% of the scan, this needs to be done from scratch, right? Or you only change 10%, so maybe we can change, speed it up, because there's not that much change.
So when you do process, it goes through this thing called global realignment. And when I've noticed is if I just add a few trim markings, it comes back a lot quicker. So that tells me that there's some of that going on.
It knows, right? Yeah. Okay. Global realignment sounds very sophisticated.
It is. And we have like the smartest, nicest engineers that work on that. I love them. Kai, Dave Gosbeck, Neil, Gunnar, they all work on that. If I've left anybody out, I'm sorry. But yeah, a great set of engineers that put up with all my stupid questions and are smart and super helpful. So yeah.
Because you put up with our questions, which are endless.
That is right.
Oh, we got Patricia from Louisiana.
Hey, Patricia. All right, so Frank says, why not have a reprocess button on the same scan online instead of re-uploading and creating a duplicate first? You don't have to create a duplicate. If you make a change to the space, then you can just go ahead and upload that.
I guess what he means is that it creates a duplicate model. So every time you re-upload, Matterports give you a brand new separate model as if it's a completely different model. And so you lose the link, you lose any workshopping, snapshotting that you've done.
Yeah.
And so the question comes up a lot. Like, why can't I just update the model that I have already, labeled and given to the client, and the client already embedded it on 7 different websites?
Yeah. So a lot of people.
But I like the way you explain it. It's like baking a cake. You can't unbake a cake and then rebake it with different ingredients.
Exactly. And you get a new URL, and some people are like, well, I want to use the same URL. Okay. Maybe that could be a feature in the future, but currently it's not. So every time you reprocess, like Isabel said, it's like baking a cake. You have to use fresh ingredients to bake your cake. You can't just suddenly stick an egg into an already existed cake. If you've baked the cake and you think, oh geez, I forgot to add eggs, you can't just now stick some eggs into the already baked cake. You have to bake it from scratch again. So
I guess what people are wanting is to use the same pan again, to have the same URL, to have the same container that they have already delivered. And I think it would be actually really awesome if Matterport can have like an overlay URL that's more descriptive, because now the URLs really don't describe what the showcase is about.
Yeah.
So if people can name the URL and if they can redirect it to any version, let's say that you re-upload it 5 times, and each time you can change the URL to the most current version.
Yeah, and that's a feature request that we actually have. So, yep.
But in the meantime, many people are using a URL shortener, and like Bitly, or like a service called Rebrandly, where if you register a domain name, you can use that as the shortener for all other links. And so when you use these services, that's what you give out to your client, and you can redirect that to the reprocessed version. But it would just be convenient and more cohesive if Matterport can do it on its own platform.
Yep, agreed. All right, somebody asked, Camille, are you planning a new camera in the near future? Not in the near future.
But in the far future.
Yeah.
Sometime in the future.
Yeah. So they are working on a new camera. However, it's going to be a while, and I don't know how long that is.
And it'll be waterproof and flies, right?
It'll cook you dinner.
Oh my gosh.
Because then I'm going to buy it. All right. Have any other questions? Hi, Nair. Hi, Stephen. I would like the photo grid lines to be available for shooting highlight reel pictures. Okay, that's a good feature request. I will submit that for you. Consider it done. Anything else? Oh, Frank says you can add eggs to a cake after you've baked it. It just won't turn out very well. It probably would turn out like the cake I would make. Note to everybody, don't eat anything I cook. All right.
So Mary really wants to do virtual staging. That's something that she's really looking forward to. Do we have any updates on the possibility of adding things to scans?
No updates. Sorry. Yep. Let's see, who else do we have online today? What other comments do we have? Any other questions?
Panos, you do look bad mostly.
Oh, vertical
Vertical
trim.
trim, yes.
Yes. Uh, yes, we know about that. It's,
So
I
what
think
do we know about that?
it's the number one requested feature. And our engineering team does know that. So no
So how does
announcements.
the engineering team prioritize what features are next on deck?
So it's a combination of the product team that looks at all the feature requests and the engineering team, and they prioritize them, and I have no idea how they do that. But we can get somebody from product on to come
Yes,
on
yes,
and
that would be awesome.
you
So
know,
that
talk
we
about
can
how they do it.
bombard them. So that
Yeah.
Ravi can tell them how we must have Oculus Go up and running.
Yeah. So I am trying to get somebody from product to come on, and then you guys can tell them all the things you want. Yeah. And Isabel and I can take furious notes. Oh, and there is one thing that I wanted to remind everybody about. So scanning with the spherical cameras, which is the Theta, the Insta. If you have one scan in your space, in your model, and you upload, and you are in a classic plan, starting in July, you are charged processing fees for that. It won't count towards your free processing, and the amount is the same as if you were scanning with a BLK. No, I'm sorry, with the Matterport Pro 2 Lite. So it's 29 and 58. So what does that mean? It means that if you've uploaded any models that have at least one spherical camera scan in it, and you're on a classic plan, on August the 1st, you will see processing fees for that in your invoice. Okay, so if you see something in your invoice that you're not sure about, check to see that it wasn't a model that you uploaded that had a spherical camera scan. And all it takes is one scan. All right.
Is it possible to bring back the old invoice format? Because I'm finding the current invoice a little cumbersome, where there are 20 billion line items that may not pertain to you, and the charges are
Yeah.
not specifically associated with any project. So then it's like, what is this?
Yeah.
So
So we
for
have,
people who do hundreds of scans, this is especially hard to audit if they have collaborators and so on. So I don't think it's very helpful to have the line items and not the project names.
yeah. So you're right. We have heard that feedback, and they are considering that. But we did switch to a new billing system, and so for right now, the invoices are the new ones. Does the spherical camera charge apply to when using the Pro 2 and simply doing a 360 view? If you used a spherical camera to take the 360 view, then yes, you're going to be charged. If you did the 360 view with your Matterport camera and then you tried to convert that to 3D, then no. It's all you have to remember is if you connect a camera that's one of the spherical cameras and you do any scan, whether it's 3D, 360, any scan, you'll get charged the higher processing fee, and it won't count towards your free processing for the month.
Oh, you saved Mark 8 hours of driving?
Yeah. So I helped, I think it was manually upload a model.
So why
Yeah.
did it need to be manually uploaded?
So there's several reasons. Last week we had a little glitch in the software when some people were upgrading to 3.0.4. They were running into some issues. So I helped some people manually upload for that. Other times, some of the scans can get corrupted and you'll get often an error code 11, and that typically means something's wrong with one of the scans. In that case, you have to give me the raw files and I have to upload those for you. But yeah, so yay, Mark. Thank you. When scanning that odd time, we have to go back to figure out which earlier scan is causing an issue and maybe have to rescan it. It would be great if in the Capture app we could click on a scan point and have an option to select inactive, and then it would be the same as deleting it. as the capture app process the current ongoing scan. This way we could figure out the one causing issues instead of deleting random ones only to waste time. Oh, so you're saying you want to be able to sort of inactivate a scan, and then when you decide, oh, that wasn't the right one to inactivate, you want to activate it again? I think that is that. Also, when switched to inactive, the scan will not be uploaded. This would be useful in many other cases and reasons, I'm sure. Yeah, I'm happy to file a feature request for you on that. So I'll get that done as well.
So Jeff has a concern that the software team is not addressing issues that cause MSPs hours of needless effort to create models. And I think, so Jeff feels that the development team is not fully in touch with what customers are experiencing, and maybe there's some of that going on. I feel that too. I don't think Matterport staff is aware that many scans take a long time to plan. So, and many of them are outside of the MSP's immediate area, outside the country even.
Yeah.
So they take visas, airfares, hotels, coordination with the client. And sometimes the client, like I did a convention center where the client spent tens of thousands of dollars staging it, and it was only available for that afternoon. So if there had been a capture glitch that afternoon, I would have lost my fees and my credibility, and they would have lost all the time and money and the lost revenue. So I don't think the way that recent releases have happening, it doesn't seem like this is being taken into consideration, because a small bug on Matterport's part, it may seem like something that can be fixed quickly the next day, but in this next day, there could be a lot of distress among the facility owners and the camera operators.
Yeah, and we are aware of that. And I apologize for anybody who has experienced anything, issues like that, and has caused them damage. Certainly, that's not something that we want. We don't plan bugs. We don't make them on purpose. They happen. Last week we had an issue. We fixed it quickly. And yes, I agree. Some people were affected by that. You are more than happy to contact support. We will put you in contact with a manager who can address your specific loss in that instance. So we're more than happy to work with you. We have had some customers already contact us. Yeah, and sorry. I appreciate everybody out there who reached out to tell us what was going on so we could quickly address it. And I think working as a team between Matterport and our customers, that we can strive to make things better and make them more streamlined, and when issues happen, to get the word out quickly and fix them quickly. So yeah, sorry about that.
No, but I just feel like, maybe there's not enough awareness of so I know that a lot of Matterport's target market is real estate. So when you're doing a vacant house that's in the neighborhood, then it doesn't matter. You can go back anytime. Yeah. But there are many situations where you simply cannot go back.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I would like to just emphasize that sometimes the lost opportunity is it's just that moment when something can be scanned. And so I'm hoping that there can be more QA before anything is released. Because in this version, we had the bug that deleted people's data. And in the previous version of Capture, we had people who were unable to upload. And so it seems that consistently we're having issues, and maybe things should not be released quite as quickly.
Yeah, and the engineering and product team have heard that, and we are striving to do better on that.
Okay, yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, and you say Teresa too. Her clients are very happy.
Teresa's a sweetheart. She's just a sweetheart. Oh, on the other note about clients, so I understand certainly how there are often times where you can't go back to a job site, either because it's changed, because you had to have special circumstances to just go there. A lot of times I'll see spaces that come back that are misaligned. And that's why I feel it's super important that we fix those if we can. I spend a lot of time doing that. It's important to me that if I can spend a few hours trying to fix it rather than have you drive back and rescan, I just think it's worth it. And so Matterport has been doing more of that than we ever have in the past. And for that reason, because we do care about our customers and we want to, if we can help and make things better rather than putting it on you, that's what we would rather do. So yeah, I think a lot of you know that I spend a lot of time, and it's my own personal time doing that. But I think it's totally worth it. So
Thank you for all you do for us. You've
you're
saved
welcome.
many, many, many scams.
You are welcome.
So
All
could you
righty.
post a link to the 360 to 3D conversion? John
Oh,
Rudy is
yes.
also asking for
Yes.
the
So it does
instructions.
exist. I did see it. I will get you a link. I'll post it here as soon as we're done. But yeah, I think if you search in the Help Center under conversion or something like that, you'll find it. But I did see it. All right, so we're approaching the end of our session for today. We will be here again next week, same time, same place, with both Isabel and I, because she's my lovely co-host. Thanks everybody for taking the time to join us. Thanks for all your questions. And again, go out there, conquer the world, scan away, and we will talk to you next week. Take care. Bye.